I feel like, so I just got my hair cut. Luz thinks she looks sloppy, but she doesn't. Just saying.
Oh no, it's recording.
Don't worry, I won't put that up. This is Luz. That's that. I'm just kidding.
No way.
What I'm thinking right now is that anyone watching this would already know who you are, but if there's any chance that someone doesn't, do you want to share a little bit of that? How about I'll share some things and you can chime in.
Okay.
So this is my friend Luz. Luz is the heartbeat, centerfold, originator of La Bamba. I have the pleasure of not just being her friend, but making music with her in that project, and she's also an artist of different forms and creations. I'm trying to figure out what your face looks like right now. Wood, like stenciling and written, not just songwriting, but like poetry and freeform. Basically, if there's anything that she gets her hands on, whether it be words or physical material, she's gonna find a way to shape it into something. But I mean as a compliment, like, and it will be a reflection of what's going on in her mind, her spirit. It'll be for her family, on behalf of her family, to her community, for her, to little Luz. Yeah. Luz is an artist. I feel like that. I probably should have just started with that. I could have just started with that. And my friend, and we got to just sing a song together. I was thinking about this on the way here. This is the first time we've sang a song together that was neither yours or mine.
Yeah.
Like in a recorded way.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't thought about this in a long time.
So usually singing, most of the time when we sing together, it'll be songs via La Bamba, and then there've been a couple times where I've been really stoked to have you sing on my songs. But it felt good that it was like a middle ground. Like neither of us had huge personal attachments to it. Actually, you kind of did a little bit because the song is from later days.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know anything about like Fugazi or Yo La Tengo or like Dinosaur Jr. and like all these bands until way later, and this band, like that album, I forgot what album it was on, honestly, but that song is just there. I think it's a cover of something else, but like that type of music really has like a sweet spot in my heart, because it was like a part of my like, I don't know how old I was, like 19 years old.
Oh yeah.
But
okay.
I don't know, it is a different time in my life, but the song is really good. I don't know.
It was fun to just be like, let's just sing a song together.
I miss singing with you too.
I miss singing with you too.
It's crazy to do these things like this, for sure. But yeah.
I think the last time was...
And listening to you talk about me, like, and do
is
that,
it weird?
I'm like,
it is
oh
weird.
gosh.
I think that's why it's almost easier when it's someone I totally don't know, because then you could take on the form of the interviewer, and it feels more natural because you have nothing else to build it. But if you know someone personally, and they're like, "Hi,
and then I act,
meet Luz," and you're just sitting there like this while I'm describing you. But what I have like a few, like, we both are storyers, and like build our understanding around stories. And to go along with a lighthearted, sorry, I thought I saw fly, but to go along with a lighthearted song, it made me think of how often we story about quirky things from childhood. Questions I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I'm ready. Give it.
What is the coolest pair of shoes that you owned?
How many do I have? Like option A and option B?
No. I didn't have anything ready. No. Did you need?
I'm not prepared for option A.
I was just prepared for the question.
You're like, I'm asking the questions here.
This is my question, Luz.
Okay, let me choose. Okay, throughout, like when I was a child.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, well, okay. I can't, because I'm still thinking of these between these two things, and one of them is like, I can't really say because I'm not allowed, right? Maybe later.
Oh, check. Oh,
my favorite.
Like brands, you mean?
My favorite were these Spaldings.
Okay,
they look like Converse, but they weren't. And because everybody in my I think it was junior high, it was like all about my so-called life and Nirvana, and I was listening to Selena and like all this other like, you know, other music that wasn't anything like, you know, I didn't know, but I was kind of seeing what kids like, kind of like when girls would wear New Kids on the Block t-shirts in 5th grade. I'm like, why is this boy band make me feel uncomfortable? I'm like, they're like kind of cute boys.
I
like,
feel things.
And they're like, you know, the shoes. They're little kids wearing like the like. I like this band. You know,
like do you know who this is?
But I'm like, yeah, super young, but like anyway, like those teeny, you know, those type of bands. Anyway, what was I saying?
Spaldings that look like Converse, like Chucks.
Oh yeah. So that era.
Yes.
Yeah. So they look. Remember those like kind of like this, but they had like a little star.
Yes.
Right here?
Yes.
And like there was like green ones and like olive green ones, but mostly were like the classic black ones. And I loved them. But my mom couldn't afford to get the other ones. So I got these ones that like at a Fred Meyer or something. Or like, I don't even know, maybe not. I forgot where.
Payless for us was like where you get the knockoff versions. You couldn't get the Vans. So you get the Vanish.
Vanisha.
I should have. I wish I could take back my confidence to my childhood years. So when someone's like, "Are those blah blah blah?" You're like, "No, they're Vanessa."
You know, those type of memories though, like really, now that we talk about it, like what you just said, you can bring confidence back, like, or not confidence, but like that love. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I mean, I felt cool. I feel cool in those shoes. You know, I was like, yeah, like I kind of look like everyone.
I almost look like everyone else, and that's also funny, like how much energy was spent trying to match everyone.
I know.
And how much energy now is spent trying to differentiate yourself from everyone.
It's like also like a class thing, you know. Or I don't know. And then for me, it's definitely a cultural thing too. Like your parents, I mean, I used to get dressed with like we'd go to the flea markets in like Southern California, and there would be like these, you know, like beautiful like piece suits, like with shoulder pads, like with like I remember this one that has, I have pictures of it over there, of an anchor and like high waisted, navy pleated, but it was like al remate. They would like buy these, and I would wear it. My parents would like be like, you have to wear this whenever you go visit relatives and like parties. So, and then when I was going to junior high, like
that wasn't
like I had to sneak like my dad's like worker pants. You know, he had these Levi's, and I like saw like because the Jared Leto, like the whole like I mean I only say that because it was my so-called life. Like that's what I was like kind of watching, not because I watched it in my house, but whenever I go to California, I would see it on my cousin's TV. And you like, could, who is this show? What is it? MTV?
You're like, figuring out that this is what people are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I want to be cool too, or so fucking. Or excuse me.
I don't know if I was allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead.
Mom,
was I allowed to watch Beavis?
I wasn't. This happened at my cousin's house. Noelia.
Thanks a lot.
Noelia. Rigatoni too. Never mind. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
My mom has a story of her not being allowed to wear pants and Levi's. Oh. And she stole my grandpa's Levi's, would carry them in her backpack, and then when she got around the corner, she's like, she would change in a bush. Yeah,
that's what I did. You're like, I got style.
I have this memory of a pair of Skechers, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like a couple years too late, kind of thing.
Oh no! Did you have Jinkos too?
Oh my gosh! Yeah. No, Leo did. My brother had Jinkos.
I never had.
I don't think I knew how to say it, to be honest. GNCO.
Yeah,
I would never like say that. Fubu and Fila. Fila slides. The Adidas ones were like the ones to have, but Adidas weren't sold at Payless, but like often Fila was, or like Sports Authority would have sales. But I think that's what I noticed is like when I eventually got the brand, like if I saved up like paper out money, I shouldn't have been spending all of what I saved for one item. That makes me like, oh, blah. But then I would buy it like 2 years past like when it was cool, when it finally went on sale, and then you show up and you're like, look at my shoes. They're like, yeah, it's not cool anymore. Whoa. Cool is about like,
I think you're cool.
Thanks. I really liked them. There's a pair of white ones. They shouldn't have got white shoes. Really hard to keep clean. I cleaned them every day.
But it's a sign of that you're having good fun.
yeah. But
You know,
but then
you're going
clean them.
all, yeah.
Do you remember cleaning
And that's
your
a
shoes?
sign of good responsibility.
Thank you. Basically, I was far beyond my years. I was so responsible. I'm gonna cut out this part of me thinking. Ooh. Favorite elementary school teacher and why?
Oh my god.
Was there one? Is there one? I hope there's one. If you were about to say, no, I hated them all, I was like, oh no, that's traumatic.
Oh, there's a couple. It's
Okay.
like the other one.
Good.
Is there like a part in this whole interview where I can say that my B answers?
Yeah. Like right after you say your A answers. So this is answer A. And then B answer is going to come right after.
Okay.
Answer A.
Okay, answer A, I would say Mrs. Hamilton.
Thank
And
you,
she-
Mrs. Hamilton.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's a story with that. Well, yeah, she was my choir teacher in elementary school, and of course, I was like, oh, she was just the best teacher, you know. And I think it's like the relationship of being innocent, you know, and like being someone like a first generation child, and like just learning like what it was to like coexist with everything else. I wonder what it was like. I wonder what it was like to see. Maybe this is. I don't mean to sound self-absorbed.
No.
But what it would have been like to really perceive me as a child, like what I was like, knowing like like how I was raised, and like how I was like coming to myself, and like the relationships I had with certain teachers, and this one specifically was like so like. I mean, to me, I'm like biased to my relationship with them, but they saw me grow and gave me opportunity to sing in the talent show, and like that was like my first time like really feeling pushed and validated for like this kid has like some sort of like visceral organic like that like here sing the songs. Was there for me. Maybe that's what their role was for every other student there, but you know, as a kid when it makes a huge impact.
Oh yeah.
It was great. It was beautiful, and I learned so many things. So yeah.
I would say that having been a teacher, that as much as that's like the expectation, there's a difference between this is what a teacher should be versus what Mrs. Hamilton did for you. Like even if that is her responsibility to all students, to all kids, it's one thing to be like, that's your responsibility. It's another thing for a person to actually do it and like see each student. So thank you, Mrs. Hamilton.
Yeah.
Luz is famous!
No way, no.
Look
Don't
where you
say that
began.
thing.
My eyes felt very big right there.
Don't
Look, there's like a shadow.
don't say.
I'm gonna keep this in.
I would say, if I'm gonna go, what grade was that?
Oh, this is like first kindergarten, but like I went back there. So in between tours in 2012, I like took my brother's bike. I went back to Medford, Southern Oregon, and I took the bike and rode it all to my elementary school, my junior high, and my high school. I was just all in Medford. It took me all, I was like so athletic, and I actually rode that bike from Medford to Ashland. By the time I got to Ashland, like that's when I got picked up. I was like, oh, so. But
I've done all the riding.
But I did this whole journey where like I went to even the house where I grew up in, and they actually let me in, and I went inside, and I remember the house being so much bigger, but so small. And I did that thing, and then I went to inside the school, and I was looking for Mrs. Hamilton, or I was looking for like some sort of records or whatever, and like no, but I guess she became a math teacher in a different school. By then, remember. Like teachers started to change, like their. I guess I never really
endorsements, like
changing their like, because I always thought her as like a choir teacher, my music teacher.
Yeah.
And
it's weird to think that someone would.
They just became a math teacher afterwards, which anyway.
You can do that, but that does feel like an odd switch.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think a lot of teachers are doing that, or changing, because of funding.
Oh
and
yeah. Well, I went from social studies to leadership.
Yeah.
And then they told me when I was in grad school that I should. If I want to be more marketable, to do another endorsement, which makes total sense, especially if you know that you have to take care of yourself and you want to be hired. But at that point, I was like, I don't want to be a math teacher, and I don't want to be a science teacher. So part of me was like, if I get that endorsement, then I get hired as a science teacher.
Yeah. Like, and that's
the kids need a science teacher who wants to be their science teacher. I don't want to do that. This is Kaneshiro. No long story other than during reading time she used voices for different like characters in the story.
Oh.
I loved it. And I remember the first time I realized how special that was to me is when we had a substitute teacher, and the substitute was great. But then she read and she didn't change voices between characters, and I remember sitting on the carpet and just being like, oh my gosh, I don't like this.
Like, where's my teacher?
Yeah, like, you're not acting it out. This is weird. And then Mrs. Lung, 4th grade.
Mrs. Lung?
Lung.
I had a Mrs. Lung.
Really?
Mrs. Lund.
Oh.
Maybe Mrs.
Lung. Mine was like,
Lung.
lung.
Okay,
Like
going.
lung. You're like,
Sorry.
I had a lung. A lund. No, I had a lund. A lung. Mrs. Lung, wherever you are, she hugged each of us. Which I know like would be like technically against some rules and there's been issues, but every day after school, and we were in portables, she would stand by the door and we could hug her on the way out, and she would hug us back, and I remember feeling so special. But I also was very shy, so like if you accidentally, she got busy with a parent or someone and you got missed on accident, she would never do it on purpose. Now having been a teacher, I'm like, you would never do that on purpose, but life just happens. I wasn't bold enough to be like, can I get my hug? But I remember being sad if like that happened, and like if some of us didn't get our hug, it'd be like,
really good. You still do that?
this belongs to like me.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of hugs. And thinking back to like a whole school year, every day. So like
Miss Lung hung.
Miss Lung. Miss Lung when hung.
No.
That would be bad. Sorry. Edit that out. Mrs. Lung would hug all of us. The last thing I said was really bad. Sorry. I'm sorry. I hope I'll edit that out. Oh. I know the answer to this, so I want you to describe it. Did you ever record yourself singing? Like a camcorder? And what song was it? And describe, like, you reenacted. I've seen at least one of them.
Yeah, well, yes, because I was born in 1982. The family did purchase a VHS camera.
The one that the whole
camcorder.
VHS goes inside, yeah?
Totally.
Yeah.
And then I like loved it.
It's
So
like
I was like,
this
I'm
big.
watching a little TV.
Yep.
Little screen. I'm like, oh,
I don't want to put it on the bed to you.
I'm just like in my own little world.
You're
It's like
funny.
my own. Don't worry, I don't need. It's like my version of my
I don't need
iPhone.
anything. It's just.
I know, it's so small, but like I got to see. We recorded everything. Like weddings, everything. Yeah, I do, but I mostly just recorded. I recorded myself a lot dancing in the garage. Yeah, and my brothers and their friends one day put it on. It was like in high school. I came back from walking home from high school and they were watching it laughing. I was like trying to do, I've never been able to do a cartwheel, but I was trying to do stuff like
that makes it hurt so
and I was trying to like, I got into it, like, you know,
I believe it
because like I was watching those like
choreographing, like
when I would go to California and I would watch
MTV,
MTV with my cousins, I would be like,
and you're like,
and then I
you
go
just, like, I
back.
just have to practice. You're like, I just need to practice a little more. I get
yeah,
that.
and I would do it, and I would put it on my vanity mirror and sing things. That one thing that you saw was me on acid, and be like, I want to sing it. I thought I was gonna die. But
well, you were on acid?
Yeah, it was the first time in the like I did not know what I was doing. I was 17. I was 17 years old. I bought this acid from this kid named Mike.
Can you say his name was, and he lives at this address. Look him up.
Yes.
Can you imitate what? I loved that.
But
did we watch it? Did you post it on Instagram, or did you show all of us in the van? It was
I posted it on Instagram because my brother, he has all these VHS recordings that he has like I have the treasure, and he also has all these other poetry books, like the one that you know, of, like my little tagging, like Cholita style. He's like, I have your poems, sister. I have them. I'll take care of them. You know, he's just like really like he has so much respect towards like that stuff. And all those videos are like my attempts of like trying to do cartwheels or dancing or like singing along to like, you know, Aaliyah and Brandy and like Lauryn Hill and Monica and like SWV, and my brother still to this day is like, dude, I have those recordings, like you need to do that song Killing Me Softly, you really have to do it, like you have to, you gotta be, you know, And then there's other stuff that is attached to that, and I'm not going to say it. He's like, God, I'm famous. And I'm like,
I feel like those are going to be treasures for you and your family
Always.
forever. And I could also see you somehow, not somehow, like to be really simple, but incorporating that into new forms of media. But it is very personal stuff because
that's
there's
super personal, and I know, yeah, you're right, because now you have all this content, but it's very personal.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely people have to be responsible. I'm responsible with like my journey, and so when you put yourself out there, like that's so vulnerable, you know. It's like to share like the honest. I mean, when I saw that, when my brother shared that with me, I'm like, it brought me to this place. I cried and just like, wow, like this is totally like a part of me and how I'm evolving into myself and like exploring like who I am as a person, and I am still that person. I am still that person that's like, you know, little and like, and it's cool to have that. It's not Instagram, it's not like these you know, any of that. I'm not shaming any of that, but it's just, it's a different way that my adolescence, my childhood was documented in this way. So
I think that there's something in the, I guess it was frequent, because like I would try to record it as much as possible, but when you recorded it, the expectation wasn't that anyone else was going to see it, except maybe you, and then maybe in some dream that it would be like stumbled upon and discovered. So there's like an innocence to those moments where, and I'm not saying that youth now are not innocent or that we aren't when we share something online, but there's already that, you've already know in that sharing on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok that there's going to be an immediate audience.
Yeah.
So that kind of, you can't help but frame what you're singing or writing or posting around knowing like someone's going to see this. But when you were recording your cartwheels or your dance moves or maybe with like choreography, I have like videos singing Celine Dion, like full on, but like putting the camera there, and then it's recording you running to the other side of the room. Oh, it's horrible. But I think why I would like cry or just feel a lot while watching it is I remember everything I was feeling in that moment, like wanting to be big, and not like big like famous, but wanting to be able to live like loudly, but also being very shy to the point that when I came home once and my brother guys were watching it, I was so embarrassed because when you were singing to the VHS camcorder, it wasn't like posting something on Instagram. It wasn't supposed to be for anyone else. It was supposed to be for me to see like what I would sound and look like. Could I potentially do this thing? Like little bow, little Luz.
And that's beautiful.
And seeing like what I was doing with my hands.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're still that same person? Yeah.
I think that's why like giving myself permission even when doing music for Ila Bamba. Besides like learning of the songs, which is like the biggest endeavor, I would say the next one for me was learning how to exist on stage in confidence and comfort, not having an instrument, because I think that was one, it was not the only reason why I started playing guitar, but it was a huge comfort of the guitar, is having something to write to and with, but it also felt like a protection, like a safety blanket between me and everyone, and then to take away the instrument and be like, okay, Isabeau. Like I remember little Isabeau kind of awkwardly trying to get to that sweet spot where she's just in the movement and the groove, and I have to like talk to myself when I was first playing with them, like I have to tap back into that where you just dance because and not be like we may feel like stuck and you're like, oh my gosh, why are my hands here? Or like when you're shaking, you're like become conscious of my hand and be like,
I remember someone told me at the show we opened up for Cuco and in Salt Lake City, and someone was like, your hands look awkward when you're playing, and I was like, because I don't feel awkward.
Yeah.
I didn't feel awkward. I mean, I feel awkward most of the time, but like in that time, I was like, that's just me being me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, dude, really? Like, But I feel it's like it's interesting when I feel like, in my unapologetic, like super strong-hearted person, like in my center, like it's interesting how we project onto one another, you know, and like sometimes it makes other people feel uncomfortable when they think, you know, like how I'm moving my body or something, but like.
Yeah, but what if this is
like
exactly me?
This is
like that was the goal the whole time, was to get comfortable in my skin. And if that looks awkward to you, sir, like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe you need a nap.
Yeah.
Maybe you're
kind
tired.
sir, maybe
you're tired.
you need a nap.
Maybe you need some ice cream and then take a nap.
I just realized how much the camera could show, and I was like,
maybe there's too much ice cream and
the ice cream made out of avocado.
Oh my god, I want some.
That's the kind that when you ate that, that's the kind that Ty ate. I was like, that's the kind that doesn't make me poop my pants.
Cool.
I'll keep that part in.
Yeah, yay for not pooping pants.
Luz doesn't poop.
Oh yeah, because
There's like no response. Yeah, because I know.
I'm like invisible. It evaporates to magic dust.
I go sit down and it goes.
It just 1, 2, 3.
My finger's crooked. This is Luz. This is very weird, talking about my friend to a camera. It'll feel more natural for you all. I know it feels really unnatural. This is really weird. I'm doing this because I know it's like dying. I'm gonna do a quick would you rather with her, and then you all can respond how you would respond in the comments. Okay? Would you rather have breath that like smelled like butthole?
What?
Huh? Or fart blue smoke, meaning anytime you fart,
okay,
even if it was like.
What was the first one again? Hold on.
Blue smoke.
Hold on. What was the other one though?
Breath that smelled like butthole.
I'll take blue smoke any day. Yeah, and then like, are you blowing smoke out of my ass? Or like, are you blowing smoke out of my ass? I don't know. Never mind. Are you blowing my smoke in my ass?
Are you blowing smoke out of my ass?
Never mind.
And if you care to stay in our little corner of the world, we could hide away in our little corner of the world. We always knew that we'd find someone like you. So welcome to our little corner of the world.
We're like, I sucked up my hair during it. I was like, ah. It's a new thing that people need to do.
Hair sucking?
Hair suckers!